Da 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 da. How's it going, everyone? If you haven't guessed by my little theme tune, today's movie-themed class setup is going to be based on Robocop.
Your move, creep.
And as I've done in these movie-themed class setups right back from Black Ops 1 through Modern Warfare 3 and now into Black Ops 2, we're going to make a setup based on weapons and equipment used in the featured movie, which of course in this case is Robocop 1 from 1987, I think it was. Robocop 2 wasn't too bad, but it wasn't quite as good as the first one. And then, as always, the third movie in any trilogy is always the worst, and we always just wish it never happened. So let's jump straight in and take a look at the weapons we're going to run for our Robocop setup in Black Ops 2. We're going to start off with the secondary weapon this time and look at the B23R, which is going to represent the Auto 9 used by Robocop. An interesting piece of trivia is the Auto 9 is actually based on the Beretta 93R, which is obviously what the name of the B23R is based off in Black Ops 2. The Auto 9 in Robocop features that super long barrel, as well as other mouldings and casings to make it quite a unique weapon. But as we see in the movie, the Auto 9 is typically used in 3-round burst mode, which fits in perfectly with the B23R in Black Ops 2. So to configure our B23R, we'll go with the secondary gunfighter wildcard to equip 2 attachments. The 2 attachments will go for the long barrel to give it that much more elongated appearance. We'll also go with the extended clip to take the B23R that step closer towards the Auto 9's 50-round magazine. The Auto 9 is obviously Robocop's primary weapon in the movie, so we'll try and use this secondary weapon as a primary, but we'll use some points and set up this class with an actual primary weapon and select the XPR-50 from the sniper rifle category to represent the Cobra assault cannon, which was initially wielded by Clarence Bodica and his gang, then used by Robocop himself to take down the Auto 9. In true 80s style, this weapon is given all kinds of plastic fascias to give it more of a futuristic appearance, and it's got what looks to be a CCTV camera just plonked on the top to act as some futuristic scope. So for our XPR-50 in game, we'll just go with the ballistic CPU to try and represent this. So we'll definitely want to use this setup as more of a pistols only class, but if you see someone off in the distance, there's no harm in switching over to the XPR-50 or Cobra assault cannon to blow someone's brains out at long range. But moving on, let's take a look at some perks and score streak reward setups to finish off our Robocop loadout. Being part machine, Robocop can quite easily deflect those bullets and withstand explosions, so we'll go with the flak jacket perk to represent this for perk slot number 1. Now, while we could have made a link to tactical mask in perk slot number 3, instead I've spent a point on the perk 2 greed wildcard and run 2 perks of hardwired and toughness. Hardwired is the obvious choice, with Robocop being a human cop who's been transformed into this robo-cyborg thing. The actual features of Hardwired, the immunity to counter UAVs and EMPs, don't really matter too much. It's more so the name that fits in perfectly with our Robocop loadout. Then I also thought toughness was a pretty good fit. Obviously Robocop's much tougher than your average police officer, and he can take on twice as many bad guys and withstand masses of return fire without even flinching. And for the score streak rewards, it was quite tough trying to pick out rewards that kind of fit the Robocop theme. But I've gone with a selection of 3 that kind of relates to the Auto 9 robot.
Please put down your weapon. You have 20 seconds to comply.
If you remember, this thing's got those 2 arms with an arsenal of different weapons, including machine guns and rocket launchers. So to represent the Auto 9 and its weapons, we'll go with the AGR, with it being that little robot that roams around with those cannons and rockets. Then we'll also go with the Death Machine and War Machine, again to relate to those cannons and rocket launchers, although these are 2 score streak rewards we can actually play with ourselves. Although that Robocop 3 movie is pretty dreadful, we can relate these 2 score streak rewards to that kind of replacement arm that Robocop's upgraded to in that movie. So give this loadout a try and go and clean up the streets of Black Ops 2. As always, if you like the look of this loadout, enjoyed my video, or learned anything new, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up just to help spread the word and share the video with your friends. I've had some good suggestions for movies so far. I think Rambo, a Judge Dredd loadout and a Neo from the Matrix class setup are movie themed loadouts I can do in the near future, but let me know down in the comments if you've got any other suggestions. If you've just happened to stumble across my video and like what you saw, you can always subscribe to stick around for plenty more of these Black Ops 2 class setups. You might also be interested in my reviews of the various weapons in Black Ops 2 over on my Weapon Guide series. Come and say hello on Twitter and Facebook. Links to both profiles are down in the description. Otherwise, thanks for watching. I'll catch you all later.
Thank you for your cooperation. Good night.